and welcome to Garbage Theater.
Tonight's installment, Cowboys vs. Dinosaurs.
Welcome, folks, to another episode of Garbage Theater. I'm your host, Chase, with my co-host, Blake.
Yes, I'm ready for this season to be over.
Let's get this shit show on the road, then.
Thank you.
This is our last episode of the season. So because of that, there are no movie picks this week because this is it.
Right?
So what does it mean that the season's over? Well, this is it. Then we're gonna do our Shark Month special, which is gonna be so much fun. And then once that's done, in 4 weeks, we will start season 2, and we will wipe the slate clean. All movies that have been previously knocked out of the picking pool will be up for grabs again.
Exactly. And I have a few that I'm ready to bring back on the table.
And the score will be set back to 0.
Correct.
So, should we go ahead and just do the spoiler for who wins this season?
You know, for people who have been keeping track, I know it's a hotly contested situation there. But go ahead and tell them, I guess.
Some would say mathematically impossible situation.
Yeah. I think I said mathematically impossible. I think that was me.
Yeah, that 6-game losing streak you had didn't do you any favors.
No, it didn't.
You could win tonight, and you could have won the last 3 and still not have come out on top.
Well, you know, I'd like to say it was a steep learning curve, and I've got it figured out now. And season 2 is all mine.
Well, we will see what happens. We've got some surprises for season 2 in store. But
matter of fact, I'm even calling Shark Month as mine.
Oh wow!
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that the fourth episode is just gonna be shits and giggles because I will have swept the series.
Wow, that's something. That's saying something.
It is.
Well, we'll see how it goes. Right now, we got to get this little movie out of the way. This is just for pride, I guess.
Yeah, and I told Chase that the other day when I talked to him, I said that I am watching the movie. I'm not going to pull a Le Flo and not watch the movie. However, I'm since I don't care what happens because there's nothing I can do about it anyway.
Yeah.
I didn't pay especially good attention to everything, but it is what you're gonna do.
That might pay off. You don't know. That might be the tactic that you need to do.
I don't know. It didn't work that 6 times in a row.
Well, let's see what happens. Let's just get the quiz out of the way so we can dig into Cowboys versus Dinosaurs because I believe I have more notes on this than I have for anything else that we've done.
Really?
I have a lot of notes. Now, a lot of this might just be, because I take notes about the general plot just so I have it as we're going through it, but we'll see what happens. There's a lot to say. There's a lot to say about this movie. So,
I'm ready.
Okay. Quiz question number 1. While drilling for the iridium deposit, the mining company's drill gets stuck. At what marker does it get stuck?
Oh, Jesus. 10 miles.
No. It's the 3,400 marker.
Oh, well, I was close.
Yeah. What was the name of the bull that broke Val?
That bull had a name?
Yes, it did. Quite a name.
Quite a name. Like is it a 2-word name?
No. It's a one-word name, and it's a person's name. So it's not like Thunder or something like that.
It's not Steven Seagal, is it?
No.
I don't know. T-Rex.
No. Weatherby.
Weatherby.
Yep. Weatherby the Bull. Question 3. What was the name of the mining company?
Lando.
There you go. You got one.
Yep. I did watch the movie.
Yes. We've proven that. Question 4. How much does Quaid demand from Marcus for getting him to his truck?
$1 million.
Hey, you got 2. So 2 for 2.
Yeah.
You might actually get this one.
Mm-hmm.
Question 5. What does Val have tattooed on his wrist?
Oh, I didn't even notice he had a tattoo. Wow.
It's not a word. I'll tell you that much. It's not words.
Oh,
it's a thing.
I was gonna say Spring Break '97, but let's go with a zodiac symbol.
It's okay. It's not a zodiac symbol, but it is one of the zodiac things.
And it's a scorpion.
There you go.
So I got 2.5 right.
Yeah, because I'll give you the win.
Okay, cool.
So there you go. It
doesn't matter.
It does not matter. It does not matter at all. But you didn't strike out in the last one.
Right. I finished strong.
Yes. So now that that's over, Jesus Christ, this movie.
Yeah, let's get to this monkey crap.
Cowboys versus Dinosaurs, a.k.a. the Tony Romo story.
Yes.
A.k.a.
I will say this.
Dinosaurs versus Cracker Barrel.
Wow. That sums it up right there. The whole thing would have been... They would have had an easier time with the dinosaurs if they wouldn't have fired Brad's wife. I will say this, just for reference. I watched the first Jurassic Park today.
Yep.
And it's amazing.
Draw all the lines.
A movie made 20 years ago, over 20 years ago.
Yep.
20 years before this thing was ever made. That their visual effects hold up better than this movie could have ever hoped for.
Yeah.
There are parts where Jurassic Park's a little wonky with the visual effects, like going back and looking at it now.
But it's still not this.
No, it doesn't take you out of it
jittery
at
fucking
all.
dinosaurs.
Oh, they had like no weight to them.
Yeah, they had no shadows to them.
Wait, what's that?
They had no shadows to them.
I didn't even notice that.
Most of the time, they don't even have shadows. When the one jumps up on the truck, there's no shadow under that thing.
That's true. Also, nothing happens to the hood of the truck.
That as well. Nothing really happens to anything that the dinosaurs interact with. Because all the people they kill, they just kind of bitch slap to death.
I was just going to say, they just kind of fall listfully down. And that's about it.
So, this movie opens up with pretty much the opening sequence of Jurassic Park. Where it's, instead of, construction guys building a pen, it's mining guys digging a mine, but it's all the same thing. All the way down to the Jurassic Park stuff that they do in the background, the background music, which they did in Zombies too, didn't they? Because Zombies was ripping off of Jurassic Park big time too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So it opens up on this mining company, and they're mining for iridium, but we don't know that yet. Or do they say that in the beginning? They leave a lot of big important details out to the middle of this movie on a lot of things.
At one point, I even looked up iridium and how much it costs and everything. I was like, is this even worth people's lives mining for it? It actually is worth a good chunk of change, so I'll give them that.
Well, there you go. So they're mining for this iridium. The head of the team, Quaid, is leading them down there. There's also Sinclair, who is like she's the overseer of the company, but she's not the ground crew like Quaid is.
Right. They're
down in the mines. They're drilling. The drill gets stuck, so they decide to blow it open. Quaid comes in, and they bring in a bunch of dynamite in a loose duffel bag. I'm not sure if that's the safest way to transport dynamite around.
That's actually the OSHA reg on that. Is, a dirty duffel bag.
They blow open the wall, and the second the wall comes down, dinosaurs.
Yes.
They're just chilling on the other side of the wall, waiting for this to happen.
Right. Which, how are they surviving in this place? Questions immediately start happening.
And they get answered with a big giant question mark on the end of that. Later on,
they didn't get answered.
they get answered in a way that ends off with "Don't ask any more questions."
It's
just go with it.
No, the way they explained what's going on is what the ancient Mayans call a swing and a miss.
So it's just raptors at first. A bunch of raptors pile out. They kill some guys. Quaid takes off running with another one of the workers who trips and gets eaten. Quaid manages to light a dynamite stick as all this is happening and toss it behind him.
Right.
He blows up a couple of the raptors, and it causes a cave-in the mine. And he narrowly escapes. Then we have a bit of it's a flash forward, flash back all in one scene where we jump forward in time, but we're with our protagonist Val in his truck, and he's having flashbacks to when he was the hero bull rider of the town.
Exactly.
And everyone loved him for bull riding because they're at the rodeo, and Weatherby the bull bucks him off, and he gets devastatingly hurt. We come to find out later that it was near lethal how bad he got hurt.
Right.
So he'll never.
Let me go ahead. I need to apologize for something. Like, as soon as we started recording, there's just been like a massive downpour outside my house, and I'm sure my microphone's picking it up.
I can't hear it on my end, so hopefully it'll be all right.
Just my apologies if so.
Nah. It's not like we have to give any kind of quality to this piece of shit movie.
Well, I guess you're right.
So Val's down to the point that the rodeo announcer even says that he took a beating of prehistoric proportions.
Yes, I caught that one.
Cute.
It was one of those like, oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah. So Val's coming back into town after being gone for an unknown amount of time at this point. We're going to find out later.
I was going to say X amount of time.
And X amount of time. It's a shocking amount of time he's gone for everyone to have forgotten who he is, and like, oh, it's this man of legend is coming back.
Right.
So it's 3 years. He was gone for a piddly 3 years.
I was going to say 3 weeks.
But everyone's acting like, oh, man, it's Val. Hey, Val, you remember me? Do you remember me? It was so long ago. 3 years.
Oh, man.
So he won't ride a horse anymore. He's looking for work. They've got some work for him, but it involves riding horses. He's not going to do that. He's not getting back on a horse ever again.
Which immediately I thought, hey, it wasn't a horse that did anything wrong to you.
Yeah, it was a friggin' bull. No one's asking you to do that again. Well, anywho, he's asking around about checking up on Sky, who we have to assume at this point was his lady friend way back in the day 3 years ago. Right. From here, we cut to a new scene with Sky and her friends. I think it was 3 other girls. Yeah. And they're driving down to the river, and the whole time this is happening, they've got the radio on in the truck. And the song on the radio is basically describing what we're seeing in the scene.
I didn't pick up on this.
It's some honky-tonk guy saying, they got a big red flatbed driving around. And they're in a red truck. They all get out, and he's saying, they got them tight boot cut low rising jeans. And it's like, please let the radio narrate the whole movie. Please let that happen, because it's hilarious. So they all get out and strip down because they're going to go swim in the river. And while they're going down there, it seems like some of them, I can't remember if it was Sky who was thinking of leaving or the friends were going to leave. And they were asking Sky about, well, what are you going to do here all by yourself? You're just going to bone that old sheriff? To which I thought, that's a weird thing to say.
Right.
We'll get back to that in a moment.
Well, to me, first off, this whole thing was, I know not everything in a movie has to make 100% sense. But let's drive out to
that's a hard lesson we've learned over the last couple of months.
Yeah. Let's drive out to the middle of nowhere to go swimming in the creek, we'll call it. And
let's go wade around in the still water.
They're all ankle deep in the water. And I know we haven't gotten to this point yet, but when Sky decides to leave, she's like, no, I got to go get to work anyway. So hold on. You knew you had to be at work at a certain time. Yet you drove out in the middle of nowhere to stand in ankle deep water for 2 minutes. And then, now I got to go to work. Oh, shit. I think you could have, prioritized your time a little bit better. Yeah. So they joke around with her about boning the old sheriff, and we're introduced. Which immediately I'm like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah,
you gonna treat Val like that? Val's a good guy at this point, right?
Yeah, Val to this point and up till halfway through the movie, the only thing Val has done wrong was fall off a bull. Right. So in my mind, Sky's just being unreasonable. I mean, it ain't like he hit her or anything. No, of course not. So, a new character, Jim, just strolls up out of nowhere, and he comes sidling around the truck. To which, when I saw him in my head, I pictured him say, "Hey, ladies," and guess what he says? "Hey, ladies."
Hey, ladies. So, right when the song's saying, and he come around a pickup truck.
Then he comes around a pickup truck. So he comes around, comes down to them, and that's when Sky says, "Oh, I got to get out of here," and she runs off. And Jim's like, "Oh, what's her problem?" To which her friends snap at Jim like, "Hey, Jim, why don't you shut your fucking mouth and not talk about her like that?" Exactly. To which I was like, "What? Why are they so sensitive about her?"
Only we can say she's gonna bone the old sheriff.
Yeah, you son of a bitch. Yeah. Again, major information is being left out here.
I hope a raptor comes out of nowhere.
I hope a raptor, Sonic the Hedgehog, bounces through the sky and comes crashing down on you. So
which
she gets
that's
okay. Yeah, well, that's about to happen. She gets back in the truck that they all came here in and leaves. And one of the friends goes with her to where there's just one girl left, Jim's girl and Jim. So she leaves, and then the other girl says, I'm going to go get a beer. To which I said, from where? They just drove off in the fucking truck.
You're wrong, my friend.
Well, it's revealed that Jim has a truck, and I guess they... Yeah?
Jim does have a truck, but they came in 2 vehicles.
Did they?
Yes, they did.
I didn't think they did.
Because I was remembering how many vehicles were in scenes.
Well, then where the fuck did Jim come from?
He had his own vehicle.
There was only 2 trucks there.
Whenever he... Go back and watch.
I swear. They pulled up. They were all in that red truck. They piled out. She left with her friend, and when she pulled away, Jim's truck was behind it.
Telling you, there was 2 trucks, man.
I don't know. I think there's magic afoot.
There's going to be side action on this situation. They came in 2 vehicles.
I'm going to take your word for it.
Okay.
So,
I'll screenshot it for you later.
Okay. So we cut back to briefly that Quaid is going crazy. Quaid, who's the guy who blew up the raptors in the mine,
right,
has gone absolutely batshit crazy.
As one does.
Yeah, after seeing dinosaurs.
Right.
Just going on about crazy creatures in the mine, and they don't know what to believe. It's just a little tiny scene just to pad out before we go back to the river, and Jim's in the water and turns around and his girlfriend's dead. We don't see anything happen.
Right.
She's just dead.
Did you notice that in every time there's a body laying on the floor dead, you can see him breathing?
Yes. They did not tell them, hold your breath, breathe as slowly and shallowly as possible. No. Just lay there.
Yeah, you can see everybody breathing. Like, everybody.
So she's laying there dead, which was my first laugh because it just hard cuts to her laying there.
Right.
And then the jittery raptor appears and goes running after Jim and leaps.
Right.
When I say leaps, it leaps completely off camera, straight up. Like it's gone, and then comes down a couple seconds later on top of Jim.
Yeah, it did like an X-Men leap across the crypt.
So it eats Jim, eats his girlfriend. Cut back to the mining company. Quaid is in the room with the bosses, telling them that they need to wake up because these creatures won't stop till they eat every last one of us.
Right.
And did you realize who the head of the mining company, Marcus, is?
Hold on, I just had that lightning or that thunder.
That I heard.
Startled me a bit, but did I notice who what now?
Did you notice who Marcus was, the head of the mining company?
No.
That was the Mohawk guy from Road Warrior again.
Really?
Yeah. That's twice now. That's twice now we've had him in a movie.
Boy, he's really let himself go.
I noticed that. I said, what are the odds? What are the odds? 3 movies ago, we watched one with him?
Well, I guess when you're, a washed-up road warrior, is it really that shocking that he'll end up in shitty movies that we happen to watch?
Yeah. I guess not really.
No, it's not.
So Sinclair's going on about how there's 100 tons of rock in there. Nothing's going to get out. And Quaid, you sound so stupid right now, as she puts it. Right.
Nice dialogue.
Yeah. You sound so stupid, Quaid, talking about dinosaurs. They they shut down the mine. The sheriff comes in, shuts down the mine. So we finally meet the old sheriff that was...
The old sheriff that does the boning.
But we don't know that yet. because later we find out that she actually is boning the old sheriff.
Well, yeah.
That's her boyfriend. I thought they were just like making fun of her.
Come on now.
Yeah. Who says that?
Because you got to remember the caliber of movie that you're watching.
So when they say, "Oh, you gonna do? You gonna sit around here, just you and the old sheriff, and bone him?" I'm supposed to automatically assume that she's been dating the sheriff for the last 3 years.
I don't know what else you're supposed to think. Look, my sensibilities about movies has been so dumbed down over the past 15 weeks or whatever that like when I actually do see something that's worth a shit, it like blows my mind.
Yeah. I just watched X-Men Apocalypse yesterday, which I know wasn't the best of the X-Men movies. And I was like,
fantastic.
This was fantastic. Compared to the movies I've been watching.
When I was watching Jurassic Park, I was just listening to the dialogue. I was like, this is what movies are supposed to be.
So, the sheriff shuts down the mine. Cut to the Cracker Barrel.
Right.
For all intents and purposes. Val finally shows up to meet up with Skye. She's working her shift. And he walks in, and she immediately treats him as if a serial killer just walked in the door.
Right.
Now, again, to this point, all we know that Val has done was fall off a bull.
Right.
She immediately goes and calls the sheriff, her boyfriend, to come and protect her from Val.
And the sheriff was like, I'm a little busy. Can you just get Brad's wife to do it? And they're like, no, we got rid of her last week.
She had a hygiene problem.
No, Sheriff, you don't remember? I told you about the smell.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I almost lost my hash browns that morning.
Yeah. So when the sheriff shows up, and he's super hostile to Val, to the point of threatening to shoot him dead there in the restaurant.
Right.
Again, all we know at this point is that Val fell off a bull.
Right.
So this is all very confusing.
Well, once again, it's all things we should have seen written on the wall, I do believe.
So I was asking myself, okay, so he was the town hero bull rider. He nearly died riding a bull and left town for 3 years, and now he's back, and he's the worst person in the world because of this.
No. See, I just dumbed down as I watched it. And, you know, when the sheriff pulls back the hammer on his gun, I'm like, you tell him, Sheriff. And, like, I'm just all in at that point. We gonna see some more dinosaurs or what?
Jesus Christ. So
I could have been an extra in that diner.
We don't take kindly to
I ain't seen shit.
we don't take kindly to washed up bull riders around here.
Oh man. Sheriff's gonna give you 8 seconds of hell, boy.
So, Val calls the sheriff's bluff, and as he's escorting him out, he sucker punches the sheriff,
right,
and knocks him on his ass. And to which the sheriff says, "Well, I got you now." And then Val says, "Well, what are you gonna do? Arrest me?" Actually, yeah, because you just punched the sheriff.
Yeah. I can't remember. Did he refer to himself as the law?
He does at one point. He says, "I'm the sheriff, so what I say is the law."
Oh, okay. That isn't the context I was thinking. Because anytime
you didn't Judge Dredd it.
You're you're in small town USA whenever somebody says the law is coming.
Johnny Laws are coming.
You better get off my property. I done called the law. Like, yeah, it's time for you to get out, my friend. Most people say call the police, call the cops. When they say call the law,
yeah,
it's time to cheese it, as Bender would say. Cheese it, it's the law.
So after this scene, we're presented with another very confusing scene where we cut to the foreman of the mine company's house.
Yes.
And he's there with a young girl. I believe it was one of the girls from... No, it wasn't the friend that left with Sky. It was a completely new girl, right?
Yeah, and there's so many questions about this scene.
Okay, the girl is clearly in her early 20s. The guy, however, Johnny, the foreman,
mid-50s,
probably. So, I don't know about you, but I immediately assumed it was father and daughter.
That's what I thought too.
And so they're talking about the foreman he walks in and he's hanging up his tool belt and whatnot and talking about his day, about the creatures that Quaid thinks he saw and how crazy that is. And then she's saying, well, it could be a dinosaur because scientists discover new things every day.
Right.
And
it's plausible.
Yeah. And then they start to undress together.
Right. At this point, I'm like... I was like, somebody called a law. Incest were declared.
So, yeah, it's revealed that they're not actually father and daughter, but they're together. And it's just weird.
You never... I don't know.
That's just how this town does it.
We need to keep the family line strong.
Keep it pure.
But the guy, he was so creepy when they started talking about the dinosaurs. Because he's like what? Like a raptor? Like a raptor? And he says raptor 50 fucking times. Culminating with him saying, let's do it raptor style.
Yeah.
To which I was like, A, that's not even witty. 2, the hell is raptor style?
Well, speak of the devil, a raptor burglar jumps through the window.
Yes, an 8-foot tall raptor jumps through a trailer window with with no damage.
Yeah. He gives Johnny a little nip, and the girl takes off running to get the cleaver out of the kitchen. And when she spins around, the raptor's gone.
Right.
And there's a beat where it holds on her just looking at the empty doorway. And then, the raptor's there again.
Yeah.
I don't know what that beat was there for, but raptor tackles her down.
The visual effects guy was supposed to have this, the raptor actually running toward her. But he was like, screw it, I'll just make him pop into existence. Nobody's going to watch this thing anyway.
So they get Et. Cuts to the jail. Of course, Val's in jail now because he punched the sheriff.
He punched the law.
Yeah. And the young girl deputy there is talking about how she's heard of this Val character. He's a legend around these parts.
Right.
It's then revealed that how bad his accident was, that it was almost fatal. And here's where we finally get our information, where we cut to Henry the sheriff and Skye. And Skye's sitting on her bed looking at old photos of her and Val. And the sheriff comes in and it's like, you know, I can't believe you're still worked up over him. I mean, he beat you and he got into drugs and alcohol. Like, finally.
Yeah.
Finally some clarity as to why everyone despises him. It only took half the movie.
Now we get it. Which, a little side production note that I noticed. They obviously just filming in some town folk's house.
Yeah.
But in that scene on the wall, there's a Masonic plaque there. And the sheriff's name is Hank. But the name on the plaque is Joseph Josephson. So that immediately took me out of the... Like, I was like, hold on. Because at first I was like, oh, look, the guy's a Mason. His name isn't Joseph.
It's certainly not Joseph Jovison.
What kind of shit they pulling in this movie?
Well, I'm fairly sure they shot this movie guerrilla style, just in whatever locations they could scrounge up. Because
like, hey, those people left for work.
Yeah. There's a scene later where they're fleeing the dinosaur-infested town, and the guy driving the car is clearly stopping for traffic.
Yeah. 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 I'll get to that whole scenario when we get there, because I got plenty of shit to say about that.
So the sheriff is laying into Skye about how she needs to get over Val because he was abusive to her, as he's violently grabbing her and shaking her around.
That's right.
So, you know, do what I say or I'm going to smack you around like Val did.
That's right.
So
because I'm the law, damn it.
Yeah. It's at this point we cut back to Quaid, who decides he's going to go find these dinosaurs on his own. He goes to Johnny's house to get his methane detector, a.k.a. radar gun. No.
Security camera with metal flashing attached to the top. That's what that was.
It was not a methane detector.
It is not a methane detector. That was a security camera with metal flashing attached to the top of it.
So he gets there. He finds the girl and Johnny dead. Johnny has
still breathing.
But still breathing. And Johnny has a little nibble out of his chest where you can see some ribs. But that's it. I mean, the wounds these people suffer to die aren't that bad.
And it didn't even look like he bled out.
No, there was barely any blood on the floor.
Well, no, they can't mess up these people's houses whenever they're gone from at work.
That they
Joseph Jones is going to come back and whip somebody's ass.
So Quaid loads up his AK and he gets his security camera to go hunting the raptors.
Right.
It's at this point that Marcus, the head of Lando Mining, reopens the mine against the sheriff's will. Cut back to Quaid, and he's using his security camera to find the methane, to which he finds...
Which they still haven't explained why they're looking for methane yet.
Well, there's a point earlier where he goes back into the cave and he finds a piece of the raptor's skin, and he smells it and makes a face.
Yeah, but all he says is smell it.
That alone is supposed to convey to you that they smell like methane.
Right.
So he finds some dino slime on a log.
Right.
And what that's supposed to be, I don't know. It's just a big puddle of slime on a log. He then opens up a propane tank to attract the raptors because he knows that's going to work too.
Right.
Sure enough, within seconds, a raptor comes running, to which he springs out from cover with his AK, and what does he scream?
I forget.
He screams, "You want some gothic ranch action?"
Is that what he said?
That's what I had the subtitles on. That's what he says. What does that mean?
Googling Gothic Ranch action right now.
You want some Gothic Ranch action?
Oh, that's not what I was thinking. All right, Yowzer. Anyway.
So he Sonny Leone's that raptor because he sprays every bullet in that frickin' AK into it.
Yes, he does.
Kills the raptor, and he's gonna bring it back for proof.
Right.
We then cut back to another confusing scene of Val in the prison, the jail, and Drunky McDrunkerson's in there too,
AKA Eric Roberts.
Yes.
Who wasn't an actor in the film. He just happened to be in the drunk tank when they were filming.
They trapped him into being in this.
Oh, y'all filming a movie?
So it's about a 10-minute scene that only establishes that he throws up a lot.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. Now, it's to my understanding that somewhere in there, we were supposed to pick up that he is actually Val's father.
I did pick that up.
He mentioned
But
something
once again,
about...
I think I'm just watching these movies in the right frame of mind, and you're not.
Yeah, because I assumed maybe that's what this was supposed to be, because they clearly know each other.
Yep.
But not clear enough, I guess. And
I'm telling you, you just gotta watch these movies. Watch these movies and just make yourself stupider than you are, and everything makes a lot more sense.
Just give up on everything and then watch these movies. It'll all make sense.
After that scene, I'm like, well, I hope him and his pappy get out of jail soon. Like, I got it. No big deal.
So, after this, Marcus, the head of Lando Mining, holds a little safety meeting.
Yeah.
To tell the crew about the new plan to rescue the miners that are still trapped behind the cave-in, which I didn't think any of them survived it.
Well, they don't know whether they survived.
They don't know. Okay. Well,
nobody believes that there's dinosaurs in there.
Yeah.
Which I will say, good thing he clarified his plan, because when he first started explaining, I was like, "Hold on, Marcus, this doesn't make any sense at all."
And what was the plan?
They say that the iridium deposit is actually a big hollow spot.
Yeah.
In the earth. So instead of boring through all the rock that had fallen, they're going to bore through the other side. Like, they're going to come from the other side.
Yeah.
To get all the people out. And I'm like, you're still boring through rock. But then, no, we're just going to blow up above the hollow point and drop
that.
Through.
We're just going to blow up a bunch of explosives on the top and go straight down into it.
Right. And then I was like, oh, man, this is why he runs Lando. Because he's an outside the box kind of guy.
Yeah. So everyone gets on board with that. He forces Sinclair to sign off on it so that he doesn't have to take the fall for it if it goes wrong.
Right.
Now we cut back to the trailer with Johnny and his lady who got ate by the raptors. Right. Sheriff's there checking it out, and he's inspecting Johnny's still breathing body.
Yes.
And he gets
heavily breathing.
Yeah. He notices a little something, a small little clue, and he rolls Johnny over, and there's an entire fucking raptor toe under him.
Yeah.
The whole toe.
Yeah. Like, which, to me, this thing sustained no damage. From the raptor's point of view, I'm gonna just straight up jump through this window without touching any sides like a fucking operation game. And I'm gonna do a half-ass little nibble to raptor style guy. I'm gonna blink out of existence, blink back into existence, swipe at the girl once, and then leave. presumably out the same window. At what point did this raptor take damage?
Unless he cut his own toe off, because it's cleanly sliced. It's the toe is the size of like a 24-ounce steak.
Yeah.
It's it's absurd. The sheriff picks it up and
unless the raptor is so smart that it said, I'm going to leave this here to fuck with this sheriff.
Cut his own toe off and slid it underneath the body.
This will show him.
This will confuse him. These goddamn hillbillies.
Now who's boning the sheriff?
So the sheriff picks up the toe and proceeds to pantomime slashing with it for about 10 minutes. Thinking very, very intensely about this toe.
Right.
Oh my God.
All he could think was, I'm so boned. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm boned.
So the sheriff then goes back to the mining camp and confronts Sinclair and Marcus with the toe.
Right.
It's clear the sheriff isn't in charge anymore because he's upset that Marcus reopened the mine. The Sinclair gets a look at the toe, and she proclaims, "Well, this isn't from any known living species," says the manager of a mining company. So then, well, if
and my shirt's unbuttoned, so you have to listen to me.
So if the toe wasn't enough proof, here comes Quaid with the raptor in the back of his pickup truck.
No, but wait. First they say it was. Didn't they say it was a bear claw?
Yes. Marcus claims it was a bear because at first he said that when the sheriff comes in and says, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear about your friend about that bear attack that he suffered," just trying to sweep it under the rug, and that's when he produces the toe. And she's like, well, what is that? That's different than a bear claw. He says, it's a very large claw.
Yeah. That's okay.
Nice and tidy.
That's it.
So that's when Quaid shows up. He's got the raptor in the back of his truck, Independence Day style.
Right.
To which Marcus sees, the sheriff sees it and immediately closes the door of the pickup and says, "Oh, it's a mountain lion. No need to look in there. Just take my word for it."
Yeah, there's a mob of people there. Oh, it's a mountain lion. Go about your business. Now,
and they all
any normal person, like I just saw a dinosaur for 2 seconds underneath a tarp. A police officer closes the tarp, shuts the tailgate of the truck, and says, "There's a mountain lion." I'm not gonna just turn around and say, "Oh well." I'm like, "No, dude, that was a dinosaur." Well, boss man says got to go back to work.
So he drives off with Quaid. Cut to them executing the new plan to get into the hollow iridium area, where they've got some paint cans that they've written explosive on.
Actually, I'm not 100%. I think they were water cans. Because
we can agree they weren't explosives.
They weren't, because on one of the labels, all I could see was drink. Like that was on there, so I'm thinking it's saying like drinkable water.
Yeah. They plant a few dozen of these, and the people laying them, these demolition experts, look like painters.
Now that's true.
They're wearing white painter suits and those little white caps.
Yes, and they set up the explosives, and in true professionalism fashion, they stand about 20 feet from the blast site.
Yes.
Like, and this thing is about to rip a crater in the earth.
Yeah.
Like, once again, congratulations, effects team. this looked like a meteor impact when this thing blew up. And people who were 20 feet away.
Yeah. The 20 feet, including one guy, this old West prospector looking guy.
Yeah.
With his floppy hat, just standing feet away from it. Old Pappy Joe.
Exactly.
They blow it open, and a T-Rex leaps out of the hole immediately.
Yes.
Followed by an army of raptors.
Which, okay. This was the other thing. So they're all living in the hollow spot of the earth.
Yeah.
Okay. None of the dinosaurs are eating each other.
Nope.
What are they eating? Huh?
So they're all pals.
Oh, I thought you said cows. I was like, there's no cows. What are you talking about? So, and the other thing is, you have to assume they've been down there for millions of years.
Mm-hmm.
About 65 million to be, precise. So at that point, don't you think their eyes would have evolved to such a thing that didn't require them to see light anymore?
Nah. They will evolve to have propane blood.
Well, and
the ability to breathe methane
on the side of their head.
Yeah, they have ear sacs. I got a bone to pick with that.
Oh, I'm sure you do. You know who else has a bone to pick?
The sheriff.
I was about to say Sky with the sheriff.
So, one of the raptors leaps out and does its raptor cry, and out of the little reptile ear covers on the sides of its head, two big like bladder sacs inflate, because that's a thing. To be perfectly sure, I mean, I'm not gonna go out and say that I'm a super expert on dinosaurs, but I know my fair share, having worshipped them since I was a child. Correct. And I've never seen anything that said that their ears inflate when they scream. No. So just to be
I'm going to go out on a limb and say the same.
Just to be absolutely sure, I Googled raptor inflatable head sacs, and the only thing that showed up was that gif of the Toronto Raptors mascot falling on his face trying to roller skate. So I think we can safely say bullshit.
Well, but worth the search.
Worth the search, because that gif is hilarious if you've never seen it.
Yes, it is.
So now I'm just thinking of that. Oh, if only I could have watched that on loop for 90 minutes instead of this movie.
Right.
So we cut back to the sheriff and Quaid, and they pull off to the sheriff's station, and Quaid's trying to talk sense into the sheriff about, this is clearly a dinosaur. We gotta talk about this. We gotta let people know. And the sheriff's like, I don't know what the protocol is for dinosaurs.
Do you have a permit for it?
Yeah. Do you have a permit for this for hunting this dinosaur? Well, I can lock you up then, Quaid, you crazy bastard.
Which right then is when I snapped out of being an idiot watching this movie and went right back into full libertarian mode. A permit? Are you kidding me? Yeah. Anytime I hear permit, like I can't help it. The like spider senses go off. A permit, you asshole. This isn't what Benjamin Franklin wanted, you dick.
Benjamin Franklin wanted everyone to be able to shoot a raptor in their own property. What I do to the raptors on my goddamn property.
Yeah, I'm sure they wrote about it somewhere. Fucking sheriff.
So they go into the sheriff's station. The deputy's talking about how there's animal attack reports coming in all over the place. The line's just flooded with them.
Right.
The sheriff grabs his gun and his lasso, his trusty lasso, and heads out. And Val's yelling at the sheriff as he's leaving. What does she mean by animal attacks? Like, well, you can ask her. She's 3 feet in front of you.
Yeah, but he chooses he opts out of that
Yes. To scream at the sheriff who's already long gone.
Yeah. Once he's gone, he's like, well, I guess I can't talk anymore.
Yeah. So now we cut to Sky's friend, who is having her laundry day.
Right.
Raptor attack in the laundromat. It comes in and it again slaps to death 3 or 4 people.
Yes.
To which Sky's friend jumps inside a washing machine and closes the door, protecting her, much like when Timmy jumped inside the little cupboard in the kitchen in Jurassic Park.
Yes.
Lots of parallels to Jurassic Park.
Same.
She's in the washing machine, which is it's one of those the side loading ones with the round glass porthole door. Right. And the Raptor's right in front of it, inches in front of it. To which then Quaid comes in, 2 AKs in hand, and unloads on the Raptor, which is right in front of this washing machine. And not a bullet hits that washing machine.
No.
They all go
I'll tell you why. Because this is one of those movies that didn't put into their budget to put in blank rounds in their guns.
At no point in this movie does anyone reload.
No.
Do any kind of action with the gun. Cock it, pump it, anything.
No, they fully rely on the actors and their quote-unquote craft to simulate the kick of a gun, and which basically amounts to people just vibrating violently.
Yes.
As they're supposed to be shooting a gun. And then somebody just adds little sparks after the fact.
And unfortunately, they have to add the little gun flares to however they're shaking the gun.
Yes.
So when you have someone with a pump action shotgun and they're letting off rounds like bow 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 bow, you have to actually make it look like it's doing that.
Sky at the end of the movie. 33 shots out of a shotgun.
So Quaid comes in, kills the Raptor. Sky's friend comes out of the washing machine, and he tosses her one of the AKs. What?
What if that was Brad's wife? She wasn't at the Cracker Barrel because she had been fired, so she's doing laundry.
She was too busy crawling into the washing machine to solve her hygiene problem.
Mystery solved.
Oh my God.
That must be a shitty Cracker Barrel, a freaking 5-table Cracker Barrel. But anyway, I'm sorry. So she gets the AK.
She gets the AK.
And he's like, you know how to use one of these?
You know how to use this? She cocks it and says, yeah, or something. I was more...
Also, cocks it for no reason.
Yeah. I was more questioning, does he even know her? To be just throwing a gun at her like this?
No. For all he knows, she's a dinosaur, and he just gave her a weapon.
So now we go back to Marcus and Sinclair, and they get in the car because Marcus wants Sinclair to get him out of here, get him to the airport. And that's when the T-Rex shows up, and they very slowly and within the reasonable speed limit drive away from it. Because also, again, they didn't close down any streets to shoot this.
Every person who drives a vehicle in this movie has to have their window down.
Yep.
All the windows are down. All times. Don't know why. There's dinosaurs. But, you know, it's a pretty day. So
it's such a nice day. Why should we miss out on this just because there's dinosaurs left and right?
I'm not going to let these dinosaurs ruin this beautiful weather. These dinosaurs that smell like methane.
Yeah.
Let's just keep the windows down.
So we go back into the jail with Val and his drunken dad.
Right.
And his dad asks him, "What happened to you that day, Val?" And Val's like, I got bucked. I got in a wreck. I got stomped. What do you want from me?" And he's like, "No, not that day. I know what happened to you that day." And he's like, "Oh, you mean the day I left?" And so his reasoning was he panicked because Val was leaving him, so he left her.
Yes.
And that's that.
Yep.
Left for 3 years, and he then says that I came back because I was running for so long, I forgot what I was running from. It was 3 years.
Maybe. We really don't know.
It's at this point that a raptor breaks into the jail and comes around the corner, and that's when the deputy grabs her shotgun, and I don't know what to call this style of shooting. The thing nearly knocks her over every time she fires it, but again, it's not actually firing. So what the hell's happening?
No, she's just
craft.
Once again,
craft.
Exactly. She's just plying her craft.
So she lets off some shots at the raptor, doesn't land a one, and it kills her.
Right.
We cut back to the Cracker Barrel, and there's a raptor tearing ass through there, slapping everybody silly.
Just going through there like Rick James, just slapping the shit out of people.
So
what did the 5 fingers say to the face? Oh,
so it's then another scene during all this slappage, my favorite slap of the entire movie.
yes.
One that I had to stop the movie, rewind, watch it again, stop it, rewind it again, record it on my phone, and send it to everybody I know.
Yes. And it was worth it.
It was worth it. Marcus and Sinclair are driving down the street, and they look out the window, and there's a nice little suburban house, and there's a mom and her 2 kids and a raptor. And the framing of this shot was so comedy. Like, this wasn't a shot from a horror movie or anything like that. This was a comedy movie.
It was.
Where the mom's to the far right, the raptor's next to her, and the 2 kids are behind the raptor. So the raptor passed them up.
Right.
And just slaps the mom, and she falls down, and the kids don't react at all.
No, they just stand there.
Well, mom's dead.
What happened before the scene started was those 2 kids slid that raptor a 20 and said, "Take this bitch out."
We want to eat Cookie Crisp for dinner.
By the way, can you roller skate?
Yeah. So that was. Now I have to say. Now I know we're gonna talk about this afterwards, but as far as this movie making the worst list, I've got such mixed feelings about this movie, because while it was so intensely bad, I haven't laughed harder at any of the movies we've watched until we watched this one.
Yeah, you might have something there.
Like, I was laughing my ass off through this movie, especially that part.
It was good.
So, beyond that, Val gets the keys, gets out of the jail cell. His dad's going to stay behind because he's too drunk to do anything. There's a small montage of some more hilarious raptor attacks throughout the town. Val works his way through, hiding from the T-Rex and ducking the raptors. The sheriff's doing his lasso thing and lassoing a few dinosaurs and taking care of business, and they all run into a bar to seek refuge.
Right.
Now, it's in here that Quaid demands answers from Marcus. And Marcus isn't fessing up to anything, and he blames Sinclair for signing off on the order to blow up the hole.
Yep.
More raptors come out the hole. This is where the raptor inflates its ear sacs, and I lost my shit.
Yeah. This is also around the time where we had no clue it was going to happen, but where Seagal makes his cameo. I'm not making it up.
What was that?
A fat triceratops comes out of the hole.
And I'm trying to think
making elephant sounds.
What a good word for how it moves is
a fat triceratops.
It plods along.
Plop.
Plop. It comes out shrieking like an elephant.
It just kind of aikidos along the street. Oh, man.
So there's a triceratops in the mix now.
Right.
All the Cracker Barrel patrons are dead. And Quaid Marcus is talking to Quaid about how he's got a truck, and if he gets his truck to here so that he can save him, he'll give him anything he wants. He's okay, well, I want you to give me $1 million. So he says, okay, I'll give you $1 million if you get your truck and get it here. To which Quaid calls him a wrinkly old bag of dung.
Which, unfortunately, in my mind, I thought he was going to say a wrinkly old bag or something else, but I was like, oh, yeah. He didn't go for it.
You wrinkly old bag of shoot.
That isn't what I was thinking either.
So he says that $1 million is all a person's life is worth to you, and I wouldn't save you for any amount of money. And then somebody calls him a jerk.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, these zingers they're throwing at him. Val and Sky finally run into each other, and they're trying to get the sheriff on the radio, which this isn't really, it's more of an observation than anything. I didn't know that radios had a squelch knob.
Yeah, they do.
That I just found that amusing to me. She was adjusting the squelch on the radio.
Oh.
I was like, I'm sure that's not really that funny, but it is to me because it's a fucking squelch knob.
Yes, there is a squelch knob.
Knowing nothing about radios.
You don't remember whenever we used to mess with Pop Scanner on the weekends, the police scanner? There was a squelch knob on there.
I don't remember the squelch at all.
Yeah, there's a squelch knob on there. You couldn't just leave that thing default either. You had to know what you was doing.
With that squelch getting in the way.
Some channels were more squelchy than others.
So Sky gets the sheriff on the radio, despite all the squelch.
Right.
And they work out a plan on where to meet up in the bar.
Mm-hmm.
Then Quaid gets on the radio because he hears the sheriff talking to Val.
Right.
And he gets on. It's like, oh hey Val, you remember me? It's Quaid. We worked as hired hands for Lou. Do you remember me? Again, it's been 3 years.
Maybe. We're not sure.
He tells Val that his truck is closer to him than it is to the bar. And he then goes through this elaborate explanation of how to hotwire it. And I'm thinking, he really expects Val to remember all of this. So he tells Val, don't worry about coming to get us. Just go for help. To what Marcus doesn't like that.
Right.
They run out there. They get to Quaid's truck. And he forgets the first step immediately to turn off the kill switch.
Right.
And he's rubbing the wires together and nothing's happening. The T-Rex sees him. He gets it going at the last second, and they peel away from the T-Rex. And now here we are in yet another Jurassic Park scene of them driving away from a T-Rex, one of them in the back of the truck. And
for no reason in back of the
For
truck.
no reason at all. Sky's in the back, and she's about to shoot the T-Rex with the shotgun, and she drops it for reasons.
Yeah.
To which then it slides to the end of the bed. So for her to get to it, she ties both her ankles to ropes to the back of the cab of the truck so she can splay out and reach for the shotgun, which only made it more difficult for her to reach it.
But you know what? She was safe.
I guess.
She wasn't going to fall out the back of the truck.
Yeah.
Once again, dumb yourself down, fella.
So she manages to get the gun, shoots the T-Rex, and it gives up chasing them down.
Right.
They decide to stop to help anyway because, what chance do they have if we don't stop and help them? So they go to Quaid's house because Quaid has a ton of guns because he's like that.
He's an anarchist.
He's an anarchist. So,
to which I immediately said, that's why he wouldn't have no permit to kill that raptor. You asshole sheriff.
So they're loading up with guns at Quaid's, and this is where they have their little moment together, where they discuss what happened, and she argues like she's 12.
Yeah.
Complete with I hate you, I hate you, I hate you slaps to the chest.
Yeah. Culminating with, I'm just going to cry in your arms now.
Yeah. So we see where that's going.
Right.
Despite the fact that he beat her.
Right.
So
matter of fact, Val changed his name. Like, his name wasn't even Val before he left. His name was actually Ray Rice. And he's like, oh, now I got to change it to something else.
So we go back to the bar. Sinclair picks up a Native American bow and arrow off the wall.
Right.
And explains that the raptors have evolved to have propane for blood. Because she knows this. Again, for reasons.
My shirt's unbuttoned, listen to me.
My shirt's unbuttoned. I'm the manager of a mining company. I know what I'm talking about when I talk about the odd evolutionary habits of dinosaurs.
Yes.
So we can use fire to blow them up. So Marcus, pulls the sheriff aside and says, hey, we should just abandon everybody and save ourselves. And the sheriff doesn't exactly disagree at first.
He's all for it.
We cut back to Val, and he's trying to hotwire the car again, and he can't get it to go. So that's done. And then he hears it. He hears the neigh of a horse.
Yes.
And we have a literal get back on the horse scene.
I think it's technically a whinny of a horse, not a neigh.
Whatever.
Just saying.
He hears a horse bark. So he's got to man up and get back on that horse.
Which this scene reminded me, and it's totally different movie. It reminded me of the scene in Orgasmo from Trey Parker and Matt Stone, when he was like, I told my dad I'd never use hamster style again. And they had the flashback, and he's eating cereal out the big spoon. And he's like, you know what, Dad? I don't think I'm going to use hamster style anymore. And he's like, all right, son. Like, it wasn't even a big deal. And then he just decides to use it all over again. Like, that was the equivalent to me. Yeah. Like, well, I fell off a bull. I'm never going to ride an animal again. Well, you know what? I guess I'm going to now.
Yeah. And don't worry, folks. He's not just gonna call it quits at the horse. He's gonna up the ante later on.
Yes.
Because if you think we're watching a movie called Cowboys VS Dinosaurs, and you're not gonna see a cowboy riding a goddamn dinosaur.
Right. Oh, it's happening.
So while he's staring at the horse, wondering if he should do this or not, a raptor shows up.
Right.
And so he's got to spring to action. And by spring to action, I mean slowly and carefully climb up on the horse, wait for Sky to wander over, help her slowly and lazily onto the horse, and ride away as the raptor just stares at them this entire time.
Because the raptor sees him going away, and he's like, "Aw."
So the raptor finally does come after him, and Val pulls his double pistols out his pants and blows the raptor away, and gives the one-liner of the movie, "You're history."
Yes. To which I said, "He's the law now."
So now Sinclair gets eaten by the T-Rex.
Mm-hmm.
As they're running. Marcus and the sheriff and Sinclair run out of the bar, and Sinclair gets eaten. Sky's friend. I don't think they ever said her name.
Brad's wife.
Then is the one that gets the bow and arrow, and
right,
and she's gonna be the one to blow up the raptors. So they're coming in through the door, and Quaid and the bartender are in trouble. So she loads up a fire arrow with a little wad of flaming toilet paper on the end of it,
right,
and does a slow motion shot. And if you look closely, you can see the wad of flaming tissue stay exactly where it is as the arrow passes clean through it without taking it with it.
Really?
Yes.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that.
It doesn't move at all. The arrow just goes through it.
That's awesome.
So she shoots the raptor with the flaming arrow, quote unquote, and blows it up. Blows it up. To which 3 more raptors come in, so that didn't accomplish much at all.
Right.
Now the 3 raptors are in the doorway. They're bearing down on her and Quaid, and then we cut back to the doorway, and there's no raptors in it at all. What's in the doorway? It's Val and Sky on the back of a horse, hunched down, slowly and clumsily walking the horse into the bar.
That horse is barking up a storm going into that bar.
So they ride the horse into the bar. Val shoots all the raptors and saves everybody.
Right.
So they decide that we need more like things to ignite the raptors.
We need more propane and propane accessories.
So they gotta get back to the sheriff's station and get the tracer rounds that the sheriff's station has. So while they're doing that, there was the T-Rex comes back. Mohawk takes off in the car and leaves the sheriff behind because they stop off at the sheriff's station too. And Marcus ditches the sheriff and takes off driving. Marcus then he drives back to the mining site and he's looking for the helipad.
Right.
So I guess he's gonna fly himself out. Who knows? It doesn't matter, because while he's driving, now bear with me as I get through all of this. He's driving and he stops because he gets a phone call on the car phone that he's got with him.
Right.
He answers it and there's no one there. To which then there's a whole Jurassic Park Clever Girl moment where a raptor pops up in the back seat of the truck. Are we to believe that the raptors called him?
What else are you supposed to believe? I thought this was blatantly obvious.
Oh.
I mean, well, look, okay. The Raptor actually making a phone call. No, that didn't happen. That's just silly. The Raptor taking the phone and going through the ringtones to make it ring. And then throwing it back in the front seat. More likely.
Because I really wanted to believe that the Raptors called him.
No, come on now.
Because they said, well, the Raptors opened doors in Jurassic Park. How do we one-up that?
No. They one-up it by a Raptor that can find the ringtone setting, goes through it, and makes one play. Raptor making a phone call. Come on, Chase. Get serious.
So Marcus gets eaten by the Raptor, by the prank phone call Raptor.
That's right.
It was during that. That was the point that I noticed while he was escaping in the truck that he was stopping for all the traffic signals.
Right.
He had to come to a complete stop and look both ways and then drive. Meanwhile, there's dinosaurs eating people in the background.
Right. Yeah, and also I had missed the part whenever they're running like from the bar to the, to wherever, things. People running through the street. In the reflection of one of the windows, you just see bystanders just standing there watching. Like, well, we're gonna watch a movie get filmed today.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, everybody else is running like crazy.
Yeah. I don't think it was even we're going to watch a movie get made, because for that to happen, they would have to have been announced that we're filming a movie here. They just said, What are all these assholes doing?
No, like, can you believe they're blocking the way to the Cracker Barrel? We got to wait here now? Somebody call the law.
Call the law. Actually, okay, how did I forget this? When the Raptor kills Marcus, it doesn't just, kill him in the traditional sense. It vomits acid on him.
Yes.
As raptors do.
Right. Well, I can explain this. I can explain it. Once again, they're trying to draw parallels to Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
However, their 3D modelers, and that's in air quotes, there's 3D modelers said in your budget you have 3 different variations of dinosaurs you can make. A raptor, a triceratops, and a T-Rex. No more. And they're like, oh, but we really wanted one of those Dilophosauruses from Jurassic Park to spit something. They're like, I can add some air sacs to the side of one of the raptor's head and make them spit. All right, that's good enough.
Why not?
And there you go.
So, as much issue as there was with Jurassic Park making that up, now we're just getting silly.
Wait, do you mean to tell me that the Dilophosauruses didn't do that?
No.
How do you know? Were you there?
Yes.
No.
Now what? Dilophosauruses were large animals. Not the little Labrador-sized thing that you see in Jurassic Park. It didn't have neck frills. It didn't spit acid.
I'm going to have to disagree with you.
Well, you go ahead. You go ahead and thinking that velociraptors aren't only a few feet tall. And
I didn't say that.
6 foot.
Didn't say that. I mean, hey. I don't think that old Steven Spielberg would lie to us like that. Don't you dare say anything negative about Steven Spielberg. How dare you? Let's move on before one of us gets pissed off.
Moving on. So, at this point, Val gets to the sheriff's station. He gets the tracers, which are like 50 cal
yes.
like giant bullets.
Right.
So what he's shooting this out of, I don't know.
Well, I don't think he ever does shoot them. So
yeah, they never use the tracers at all. He just has them. Right. A raptor comes in, and his dad, the drunk, saves him by firing a shotgun dead at him.
Right.
Again, so many times people shoot weapons at each other just haphazardly.
Well, it's easy to make that mistake whenever you're just, like I said, you're just crafting at people.
Yeah. Shoot at this tennis ball. That's where it's going to be.
Well, that, and it's just, you're not even shooting either.
Yeah. Craft at this tennis ball.
Exactly. So then, your whole reference for reality is gone at that point.
So after his dad saves him, his dad gets spit on as well.
Yes.
To which he lets out a scream of no, kills the raptor, and then,
Yeah,
there's not much emotion after that happens. He's just more like, dang it, Dad.
Well, he did throw up a lot. He's kind of a pain in the ass to be around. Yeah.
So Val makes it back. They say, we need to move to high ground. So they work their way up to the top floor of the bar place building and lean a loose door across a doorway.
I was confused by this.
So the doorway doesn't have a door attached to it, but there is a detached door next to it.
Basically, they just put up a pallet in a doorway.
Yeah. So that'll keep them pesky raptors out.
That's right.
The sheriff shows up. They ask him where Marcus is, and he says he's dead, even though he was nowhere around to see that happen.
Right.
He says he took the truck and he's dead.
Yep. Which I assume he was just saying that out of spite.
Yeah. They make the new plan of, we're going to rig up the propane tanks to the back of these ATVs that are there for reasons again.
Right.
And lead all the dinosaurs back to the crater. Because, they love that stuff.
Right. It makes it easier to shoot, they said.
Yeah. The sheriff says, no, we're not going to do that because I'm the sheriff. I'm the law.
That's right.
And Val knocks him on his ass again.
That's right.
This time he just stays there defeated. But we hear raptors coming in, and turns out the sheriff didn't close the door behind him when he came up. So there you go. This is after they let the sheriff in, so they move their barricade of the loose door. They had to put it back, and when they're putting it back, Quaid yells out, "Quick, Val, obstruct this door." Val, toot sweet, inconvenience them.
Oh man.
So, they prop the loose door back up there and start ripping up the floorboards to escape downward. Now,
right.
It's to my understanding that the raptors are down there trying to get up. So I don't know why they're trying to go down.
Well, they're hoping it's going to be a whole ships passing in the night type of thing. Raptors get up there and they're like, I could have swore they were up here. I heard them walking around.
So the floor below is full of raptors. Quaid straps himself into a harness and slings down and guns down all the raptors. They all zip down except for Quaid and Val and the sheriff, and they're arguing over who's gonna go first. And the sheriff's telling Val to go, and Val's telling, "No, you go first." And then the sheriff says, "I'll shoot you dead right here if you don't go," which that's odd.
Yeah.
So Val starts to go, and then the raptors break in and they slap the sheriff to death.
Right.
Again, only slapping. Val zips down.
When you say that, it reminds me, none of these, they never did eat anybody either.
They never did eat anybody.
So they weren't killing anybody for sustenance. They were just killing people.
Yeah. And they never used their trademark raptor weapon, their toe claw, because apparently they just snap off when they try to use them.
It's a lot of animation.
A slap is much easier.
Oh yeah, I mean the hand's already up there.
Yeah. So they zip on down, and the girls are first out, even though Quaid was the first one to go down. So they're just sitting out.
He held the door open for him.
No, because later he comes around the corner on one of the ATVs with all the propane tanks. So he was off doing that apparently.
Well, I guess you're right.
They all come down. They get on their propane quads and take off down the street with them open, luring the raptors and the T-Rex.
Right.
Quaid, one of them drops a tank. Quaid drops a tank, drives off, turns around and shoots it, blowing up a couple of raptors and annoying the T-Rex.
Right.
Because that they needed more action, I guess, because the point was just to lure them back.
Right.
They finally get them back to the mine, and Quaid, the girls, and Val are all miles away from each other out of nowhere. Val's out in a field. Quaid's down in the quarry. The girls are up on the ridge. The girls are going to pick off the raptors as they're coming in, and Quaid's going to lure them deeper into the quarry because he's got a little surprise for them.
Right.
So the little surprise, it turns out that Quaid has a goddamn RPG hidden down there.
Right.
Which he blows up a couple of raptors with, and then pulls out a heavy machine gun that, once again, he just crafts all over the place because the gun belt doesn't move at all.
Yeah.
The gun belt doesn't move. No shells are being ejected. Nothing.
Yeah. There's a lot of craft that day.
The girls are up on the ridge, sniping the raptors with an AK-47 and a pump-action shotgun.
That fired 33 times.
Without having to be pumped.
No. Nothing.
Infinite bullets.
Where'd the
no
ammo
pumping
come
required.
from? Because they had a bunch of shells on the on the stock, which is that's cool.
Yeah.
But where'd all the other shells come from?
Where the dinosaurs came from, Magic Town. So, Quaid gets overrun by the raptors and gets eaten. The T-Rex shows up, and it's on the ridge where the girls are. So the girls take off running, and they start to get on the ATV, to which the Sky's friend says, "No, don't get on the ATV. Just run."
Right. Makes sense. It makes sense.
So they start running. They start running away, and then Val comes running up to the rescue and shakes his hat at the T-Rex.
Yes.
Thus making it forget about the girls.
He aggroed the T-Rex.
Yes. He pulled them, as it were.
Yes.
Crowd control. He's doing his job. So Val takes off.
He waves his hat and says, "I'm going to use intimidating shout." And
Val takes off riding his horse. The Rex is following him. He's riding towards the Triceratops, which you might have forgotten about at this point. The Triceratops then just says, "I'm the fuck out of here," and takes off running.
Right.
So he rides down the Triceratops, jumps off his horse onto it, and starts riding the Triceratops.
Right.
Now, the thing I want to ask is, why? What was the point of him getting on the Triceratops? Could he not have just stayed on the horse?
Well, of course. Of course. There is no answer.
He gets on the Triceratops, and there's a wide shot of him riding it, which just looked mwah.
Oh yeah.
And
it was nice.
The yee-haw he lets out, it sounds like a murloc. It's just yee-haw. So, and then, okay. It's at this point we've got 3 minutes left in the movie. Tops.
Right.
More shit happens in the next 10 seconds than happens in the bulk of the movie.
Oh yeah.
Because he's riding the Triceratops. The Rex
he stabs a knife into the Triceratops
so
to
control the thing, into its spine, to tap into its nerves.
Right.
So he's riding the Triceratops.
Right there we got Avatar. Keep going.
Yes. He's riding it down. The Rex is closing in behind him. He gets to the edge of the crater. And the order of things that happen. The Triceratops goes over the crater and falls, and it just runs right the hell into it. Tremors. He leaps off of it, Max Payne style.
Max Payne.
With his 2 pistols, shooting at the T-Rex. The T-Rex also leaps off into the pit. So all 3 are falling into the pit.
Tremors.
He manages, one of the bullets from his pistol, not equipped with those 50 caliber tracer bullets, mind you.
No.
Hits the T-Rex in the mouth, blowing it up. Jaws.
Yes. Jaws.
So it explodes midair, and they all fall into the pit.
Right.
The girls come running up, and Sky's devastated, and her friend consoles her.
Star Wars. My bad. Star Wars.
So she's consoling her, and then here comes a hand over the edge of the cliff, and Val climbs up. Last Crusade.
You beat me to it.
So Val climbs up. Now here's something that I really wanted to happen. When they all fall into the pit, there's a wide shot of the pit, and you hear an eagle screech, that stock eagle screech noise. And I said to myself, please ride out on a pterodactyl.
That isn't what I said. I said lights, camera, bat suck.
And Seagal, wherever he was on the earth, his ears perked up.
Oh yeah.
And he ran for the hills.
His ears didn't perk up, he flinched downwards. Oh shit.
So Val climbs up, and Sky and Val embrace, and she says to him, "Oh Val, you saved me," and he says, "No, you saved me." No, she didn't.
No.
In no way, literally or metaphysically, did she possibly save him. No. At all.
Jerry Maguire.
You had me at hello. So while that's happening, we there's another little rumble down in the pit, and this thing flies out, and I said, "Oh, I am gonna get my pterodactyl," but no. This movie has a darker plan in store. And what comes swooping down?
A dragon.
A fucking dragon.
Game of Thrones.
Dragonheart.
Peach dragon.
A dragon comes down, and Val and Sky look at each other with blank, nothing expressions, and then the credits roll.
Sex in the City.
They look at
don't
each
have
other.
Expressions.
They look at each other in a way that I was expecting one of them to just go, line?
Yeah. Really, when they were, the guys directors just imagine that a dragon is going to come out of the crater. And right before they said action, Val looks at Sky and says, "We're going to have to craft the shit out of this." And then that was it. No stinger. I checked. Because when it ended like
that
that,
was
I was
the
like,
stinger.
surely something else has to happen.
Nope. That was the
it.
stinger.
Yep. So how do you make this movie better, Chase?
How do you make this movie better?
Yep.
You actually have Val right out on the dragon.
Ah, that'd have been good.
Yeehaw and all.
Yeah. All right, so...
let me hear your elaborate...
Yes. Everything's the same up until when Val jumps on the Triceratops.
Okay.
And they start going. And they're heading towards a cliff. And when Val jumps off and starts shooting at the T-Rex, the Triceratops hasn't fallen into the crater, but he stands up on his back legs and he puts on sunglasses and he says, "You can't shoot that T-Rex, it's sentient." and then instead of the dragon, Batsuck flies out of the crater. And then you roll credits.
and then they play Everybody Do the Dinosaur.
No. That's not what they play. They play Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Jesus Christ.
No, scratch that. No. Sorry I even said that. They play Put Me In, Coach. And that's how you make the movie better.
Oh my God.
So,
well, there you
by the
have
way,
it, folks.
For listeners who may have jumped in on this season late, for any of that to make sense,
You're going to go back and listen to some.
yeah. There's been a lot of running jokes this season that I think we're just going to have to keep carrying on no matter what.
Yeah. Go just... It's pretty much any of the Steven Seagal movies. It'll catch you up.
Yeah, if you start with, what was it, Sniper?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where these running jokes started.
Yeah.
So, do yourself a favor.
Let's do the rundown for our win-loss before we sign off for
that sounds good.
season 1. Episode 1, I'm the pretty thing that lives in the house. Goes to me.
Yep.
Episode 2, the Ouija Experiment 2. Goes to Blake.
Yep.
Episode 3, Go with LaFleur.
Oh, that was a bad one.
By disqualification, goes to me.
And that's where it went downhill.
Yes. Episode 4, Welcome to the Jungle. Goes to me.
Yes.
Episode 5, Sniper Special Ops. Goes to me. Episode 6, Three-Headed Shark Attack. Goes to me. Episode 7, Jerusalem. Goes back to Blake.
That's right.
But it's a short-lived victory, folks. Because episode 8, Zombies, back to me.
Yes.
Episode 9, Perfect Weapon, back to me. Episode 10, Airplane vs. Volcano, back to me. Episode 11, Gallow Walkers, Blake gets a win.
That's it.
Episode 12, Asian Connection, I take it back. Episode 13, Cowboys vs. Dinosaurs, Blake gets the last win.
That's right. Which is the only one that matters.
Now, looking at my math here, out of the 13 episodes, you won 4.
It's a strong showing.
So we can safely say that I am the victor of season 1.
Yes.
Proudly.
Well, you deserve it. You know.
So I expect things to step up. As you said, you're already claiming victory over Shark Month, which we will see.
Oh, yeah, that's all mine.
So, next week, since season 1 is over, next week we're going to have a little bit of a special episode. There won't be a movie, but we've got some little fun things to discuss per the movies we have watched, and just some announcements for Shark Month.
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and say it now. We're going to have a new special guest moderator. A friend of mine, John, will be joining us, and he will be moderating Shark Month, where he will be crafting the quiz and administering the quiz, and Blake and I will be going head to head.
Hopefully he crafts the shit out of it.
Yes. So we're going to go for all Shark Month, 4 episodes, 5 questions each, and whoever gets the most right at the end is going to win. Mm-hmm. Now, the prizes, we've got some dandy prizes. If Blake wins, at any time during season 2 that he gets to pick a movie, he can pick absolutely any Steven Seagal movie that is on Netflix, regardless of criteria to our rules of what we can pick.
That's right.
If I win, same deal, but Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yes.
The green kryptonite and the red kryptonite.
Yeah, that's it. That is exactly it.
So that's the stakes up for grabs. We know the 4 movies, but we don't know the order that we're going to be watching them. That's going to be up to John.
For Shark Month.
For Shark Month. So let's save them, and we'll announce the movies as they surface.
Of course.
As they come to the surface, as it were, for Shark Month.
Oh. Wow.
Expect more of that, folks. Yeah. Brace yourself for as many Jaws puns as we can choke out.
Well, I'd hope. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be wearing my little my little suit covered in anchors the whole time.
So, well, that's it. That's season 1.
That's it.
In the can.
Yeah.
13 episodes. We've been doing this since January. One of these movies a week since January.
Boy, when you put it like that.
Yeah.
1, why did we do this to ourselves? 2, we really don't have lives.
3, we're going to continue doing this.
Yeah, no. And bringing more people to be tortured.
Yes.
Oh, well, misery loves company. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm gonna win Shark Month for sure.
All right, we're gonna see how that plays out. We're gonna remember that you're saying this.
It's gonna happen.
Remember this for if there's a complete strikeout in the first episode.
As the ancient Mayans say, a swing and a miss. I hope not.
Yeah, hopefully not. But I'm expecting some competition, and not just. Well, I'm tired after 13 weeks of watching these movies. So it'll be nice to have a break this week to not have to watch anything.
Yeah, you're right.
But we are going to do a little research. We're going to get some fun stuff to talk about, and it'll be a good little season end special.
Yes.
So that'll be going up next weekend. So look forward to that, and then we will start our Shark Month that we've been looking forward to for quite some time.
Yep, good to go.
So I'm going to go to bed.
Me too.
So, till next week, folks.
Thank you for listening to Garbage Theater. To get the latest episodes, please subscribe on iTunes and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/garbagetheater. You can also listen to Garbage Theater anytime, anywhere on Stitcher Radio on Demand. Download the free app today.